and welcome back to the Mother-in-Law Suite. This week I am alone once again, but that is okay. It's going to be a shorter episode. I just got back from New Smyrna. I went out there with the extended family. We stayed out, so I got a few stories from that. The Steam summer sales here, so I'll probably give out a few games to look at getting, or a few sales that I saw that might be interesting to some of you folk. And yeah, there's just a few things to talk about. Nothing too crazy, nothing to get too serious about. There's a topic that I might touch on a little bit that was pretty upsetting, not to me, but to a bunch of people across the United States, specifically women. But it is that is a situation that I will probably discuss towards the end of the podcast. But to start it off, why don't we go ahead and get into this summer sale real quick. I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what I've been looking at. Every year whenever the summer sale comes out, there's like a little mini game or something that you can do, and you like get like rewards and stuff from it, from you doing like, I guess, the objectives or whatever they're asking you. Well, this year it's like a scavenger hunt. You have to like look around the store based off a description. So whenever you get to the main page, it says like free fun this way or whatever. And the theme is like there's like a trickster from the future putting games into the sale that aren't actually games. So it will give you clues, and then it will tell you like a little riddle, like maybe you managed to shut down your rivals. Your lucrative theme park's still dead on arrival, right? And then you got to hit the go find it button, and it will take you to a genre of video game. It takes me to the simulation video games. So now in the simulation tab, there's like a game in here that isn't an actual game, and it's a made up game, and if you find it, it will give you like a little reward, like a little GIF you can use in with your friends or anything like that. It's a pretty little neat like scavenger hunt thing that they got going on this year. But other than that, the sales that I've kind of been looking at, I have a lot of games. If you guys haven't, if I haven't mentioned before, but my library is pretty big, so a lot of the games on here I already have for the most part. But there were a few that caught my eye that were interesting enough to me. Days Gone was a PlayStation exclusive game that came out on PlayStation 4. I think it was 2017 or 2018 or something, 2019 maybe. It's a zombie apocalypse survival game, but you were a motorcycle gang member or something, or you just had a bike. But either way, it's basically you and like your motorcycle taking on this world, trying to find your wife. And it's actually like an interesting story. It's a pretty good game. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So maybe try picking that up. Red Dead Redemption 2's 50% off. I feel like it should probably be like 75 at this point. The game's a few years old. It came out in 2019, so I think that's a bit high for a price point. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, that's $10 right now. So that one ain't too bad. Fallen Order's kind of fun. I mean, if you don't know what it is, it's a Souls clone, but it's easier and there's a difficulty slider. The only issue with it is like the harder the difficulty, the like tankier the enemies, and it just feels bad fighting tanky enemies with a lightsaber. Like it feels like you should like hit them like 3 or 4 times and they should die, or if not once, but you end up having to hit some of them like 5 or 6 or 7 times. It's like, what am I like hitting with a stick, or it's, I don't know, it can be pretty rough sometimes playing that game. I did not enjoy it. I also played it on PlayStation 4, so maybe there was just like buggy on PlayStation, but who knows. For the most part, that is that's everything that I've seen that really sparks my interest. The Dirt franchise is on sale. So Dirt Rally you can pick up for $5. Dirt Rally 2.0 you can pick up for $5. Dirt 4 you can pick up for $5. But Dirt 5 is 18 compared to the $60 mark. The reviews for Dirt 5 are pretty mixed. They're 60% positive, um, of all reviews, and it's it's not the most promising game in the world based off what I've seen. Apparently, instead of like the more accurate physics representation that they went for in Dirt Rally 1, it's a bit more arcadey, more like Need for Speed or something. So a lot of people, or a lot of the fan base that Dirt 1 like kind of pulled in, is kind of getting a little upset about it. But yeah, no. Anyways, to move on from game sales, I will speak on a video game that I just recently completed or finished. A game called Disco Elysium. I think I mentioned it last year, or not last year, on the last episode, um, last week. I did finish it since then. It was a very good game, and there's a ton of replayability. There's so many different varieties of ways to play and directions to go and dialogue options to hear. So whenever you're playing this game, a lot of the reason you're going to be playing it, you'll find yourself like is or noticing is to hear the dialogue, to hear the voices, to hear the story be told, and while you're going and working on this on trying to figure out and solve this mystery, you'll find yourself like wanting to try these different dialogue options that you normally wouldn't say just to hear how it's going to turn out. It's really funny. It's such a good game, and I definitely definitely recommend picking that up. That's like $13.99 right now or something on the Steam sale. So that's a good one. Squad is 33% off. I think it's about $33 at this point because it's a $50 game normally, so it's marked down to 33 or 30ish bucks. Um, Squad is a military simulation game. It's like 60v60 or something like that. I oh, wait, no, it's 50v50. It's 100 player lobbies. It's you got to form like I don't even know how to describe this. I guess it's a war game. So you'll have a commander on each team, and then the commander will assign, or not necessarily assign squad leads, but the squads that form based off like people joining and leaving squads and everything. The commander of the team will direct the squad leaders to certain areas. So let's say there's a town to the north at grid G5 or something, or grid O5, O6, right? So if this town is named Titan, let's say he'll move Bravo to Titan, and then he'll move Charlie to east of Titan, and then Delta south to Titan, with Alpha backing Delta up, moving further south into another city called, I don't know, Jupiter. I don't know. It's whenever you get into these cities, there's like AOs, and if you stay in the AO, you have to eliminate the enemy hostiles inside of this area of objective, and then whoever has the majority of people inside this AO will cap the zone, and then a new AO will appear, or there's a different game mode where it's like a line of like it's like invasion, so it's a specific path that you have to follow and cap instead of just at random. So it's pretty neat because there's a lot of like communication and strategy, especially in not necessarily relying on yourself. So if you aren't confident in an aspect of like using or being put at fault, or being like the reason for things, it's fun to be like a little infantry guy and be like, have your squad lead be like, hey, can you go sit in that rock over there, because we got to go over here and we need you to watch or something. It's a pretty good game. I enjoy it. The version 3 update just came out, so there's what do you call it, there's now amphibious vehicles in the game, so like BTRs can now submerge themselves in water and like float and go across rivers and things. It's it's a pretty good game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. I've had it for years, but the new update's pretty cool. Plus, that's the game with the Star Wars mod that I was talking about before too, and the Star Wars mod is pretty neat. I've played a little bit more since that, and it's really immersive, really neat. I highly suggest looking it up. It's Galactic Contention, I think. Um, Very cool. But I said I went to the beach. I am back from the beach. I spent some time with some family, my grandparents and everybody. We had a good time. We were hanging, you know. We went out to eat some good food, got some sushi, you know. I was there for like 4 or 5 days. We also got some pizza. It was a really good pizza. It was like this like great white pizza that had like ricotta cheese and mozzarella and like sun-dried tomatoes and herbs. It was really good. It was very, very tasty. Pretty nice, if I do say so myself. But the first night there, I had a homie come up and meet us because I'll usually have like a friend or two come out while we're there because we're there for so long, and might as well have some homies come out so we can go to the beach and hang out together. Um, he got there, and then my cousin was like, "Hey, you know, like, how about later on tonight we go play some pool?" You know, I was like, "Okay, yeah, bro, I'm fine with playing some pool. That sounds fun to me." My cousin's like on a team, and he just wanted to go play some pool with the friends, you know, with the homies. And we go out. We haven't eaten really much. We started the day out before we played pool. We started the day out with Andre getting there, my buddy Andre getting there, and then my cousin and I just hanging out. Um, After Andre gets there, we're like, okay, let's go grab some food, and then we'll come back. So we went to Walgreens, um, trying to look for food. Not much there, so we just went ahead and walked to Publix. It was like a maybe 5 blocks less than. We went to Publix, picked up some like grab and go sandwiches, and then we walked on back to Walgreens to the liquor store because we didn't want to bring liquor into the Publix whenever we were picking up food. And we picked up some moonshine, and then we walked back to the hotel and went ahead and ate, took a few shots, went down to the beach. Then after we went to the beach, it was around 7 o'clock is when it was around 5:30 or 6 whenever we were done with the beach, and then we went up to the room and came back down for pictures at 7. After pictures, we like almost immediately left to go play pool. Now, around that would be around 8:30, 9 o'clock when we got to the pool hall to go play pool, and it was a dive bar, so there was no kitchen. It was just pool tables, a few arcade machines, and then like a bar. Like that's it. Like there was nothing. You just go in there to drink. So a bunch of people were just in there drinking. So we got there. We ordered a round of green tea shots. Then after those came out, I noticed on the wall that they had a sign that said $2 gin. I said, uh-oh, that's dangerous. So I said, why not? Let's get a round of gin. So I bought a round of gin. We waited a little bit, and then I got another round of gin. Now, the plan was to get food on the way back. Um, you know, I only eat once or twice a day, so I'm like in my element. I'm feeling fine. I'm moving. I'm schmoving. I also drink a ton of water when I eat or when I drink. So like every shot or every 2 shots, I drink a full glass of water. So I was feeling okay. But after a while, I think my buddy Andre ordered a third round of these gin shots. So we took that third round. We were sitting there for about 30-40 minutes, and then my cousin disappears. So I try to go find my cousin. I find him in the bathroom, and he's just like he's he's going crazy. He's not feeling too great. Um, then I go in. I come back, find my buddy. He's like almost asleep on the bar on the stool, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I gather up all our stuff. I'm already like sober. I've been drinking water. I like skipped out on the last round. I was sitting there, I was good. I was vibing. I was making sure that they were good. So just to make sure, we stayed there for another 30-40 minutes. I got him out of the bathroom, sat him at the bar, sat there for a little bit and waited for them to feel a bit better so I could drive him home. After after I waited up and just to make sure I was sobered up, I got him in the car. We drove back. I think it was like a mile and a half to the hotel. Drove back to the hotel, got them in, and then got up back to the room. Now I got my cousin to his room, then I got my buddy back to our room, and then that's when it started. That's when it all started. I was sitting there and I fell asleep, and then my buddy fell asleep. Well, actually, I didn't fall asleep at all. I was like reading, and then I was watching a show on my phone, and then around we got back around 11 o'clock. So around 1:30, I heard my buddy in there like tossing and turning around. So I went in there to go check on him. I'm like, bro, are you good? And he's looking at me like, no, like I don't feel good. So he goes and throws up. Then he comes back, and I'm like, all right, man. Well, I'll stay up for a minute if you need something. He said okay, and I kind of tried to make him a little bit of food, and then see what we could do. I didn't really have much food there because it was our first day at the hotel. We haven't gone to Publix or anything yet. Um, so I give him a little bit of pork rinds and some water, and then I come back and lay down. And then next thing I know, I hear him getting up and throwing up again. I'm like, oh my god. I said, what's wrong, man? I said, are you good? He's like, nah, I'm not feeling too great. Bro, that happened for like 6 hours till 7 a.m. I finally got up and was like, okay, we're going somewhere to do this, because I was with him the entire night. Like I was helping him out, making sure he was okay, making sure everybody was feeling okay. Woke up the next morning and I was like, bro, or no, I didn't sleep at all. So I don't know why I keep saying I woke up, but I heard him like throughout the night just throwing up. I tried to keep giving him water. I tried to give him Pepsid. I tried to give him this or that, like homemade remedies and things like that. Nothing was working. He was still throwing up. I said, okay, bro, we're just gonna go to the ER. So I took him to the hospital. We and they hooked him up to an IV, bro. Oh my goodness! The moment that fluid, the drip started, it looked like he saw God. His eyes lit up. His color came back to his skin. He was feeling so much better. But it was really funny. He wasn't like, he didn't have alcohol poisoning. He was just not feeling it. He just needed food, and he was he was like it was tear jerking whenever he was able to drink water again. He was like, "Let me have some ice, please, please." And they finally gave him some ice and some water, and he was like, "Oh my god, thank you." So that was a little bit of the excitement that happened over the week, or over the vacation. It was a good time, all in all. We had a good time. Um, Other than that, I mean, I read a little bit. I got made some progress on the Halo Silent Storm book, and I am almost done with it. I am like 40 pages away. I'm gonna finish that tonight. I also have the second book here that I need to start whenever I'm done with it. I think it's Halo Oblivion. Um, at least in the Troy Denning trilogy. There's other books that were earlier, but I'm trying to follow like the canon lore, I guess, of the Halo franchise. So like 343 is like explicitly said canon lore. So um I don't know. I gotta see after Oblivion what comes next, and then see where I'm at from there. I also started watching the TV show. I know it's bad, so I'm not going in with like much of a expectations, or many expectations, or geez. um, I'm not going in I'm not going in with any expectations. I don't know what's happening to me right now. Um, but we will see how that plays out. I kind of have a feeling that it's going to be like a fan fiction YouTube series, is like the way that I feel like people have been describing it. So that's probably how I'm going to watch it like it's a YouTube series or something. But I'll probably still get upset about different things that don't make sense. Um but yeah, no. It that's that's I guess that's vacation for the most part. Um, so to talk about the subject that I was saying, unfortunately, the Roe v. Wade case was overturned, and now the federal government has given the states the option to make abortions illegal. Now, there are 26 states that said if this criteria was met, they would probably jump on the bandwagon and make it illegal. So, almost the majority of the United States is now against abortion. Now, I can't really talk much on this subject because I feel like I am not the most educated about it, but I am also I also feel like it's out of my place because I am a man, you know, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think what I'm going to say is going to be offensive in any sort of way. I just think that it's none of the government's business, and that should not be a law in general, and it is such an emotional and important matter for women and families and everybody or any party associated with the matter, and it's such a personal thing that nobody should be intervening in that at all, other than the person that is choosing to have that operation done and the doctor. It is no one's business, and it should be like that, and it should be available for people who needs it and who wants it or anything. But that's not the way it's going to be, because people get offended by things that they don't agree with instead of just turning a blind eye. You know, it's it's not, you're not even turning a blind eye, just acknowledging the fact that other people don't agree with what you're agreeing with, and just get past the fact over your ignorance that you aren't the only person in this world. Like, there's so many different people that need different necessities and have different criteria that need to be met for a daily life or anything like that, or to live in general. And it's astounding that now women have like almost less rights than guns do, and it's a weird area right this minute. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to talk too much on it because I don't want to say the wrong thing or the right thing, plus I could try to stay away from politics for the most part on this podcast, but I think I might start talking a little bit more about them in the coming days or in the coming weeks. And it's just it's a weird thing, man. I think it's a bad thing, a very bad thing. And if they start outlawing things or illegal, like making things illegal that deal with an anatomy of a human body and directly correlates with nobody other than said party themselves, then it's gonna be it's we're gonna have a wild ride down the line, because they won't just stop at that. It's gonna get way worse before it gets better if we don't do something about it now. It's the way I think it because I mean I mean I don't even know what's next. I mean, maybe segregation again or something, but I don't that's a bit extreme, but it's a weird situation, man. And I really just don't think it's any of the government's business. I think it is the mother's business, the doctors, and that's it. So, you know, it's none of my business. So why, you know, why should it be theirs? It's a ridiculous subject, and I hate having to talk about it, but I feel like it needs to be expressed. But yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it short this week. I have a few things that I have to get done before I leave, or or here soon. Not necessarily before I leave. I can't. My mind's scattered all over the place right now. To go into music, I guess, before we wrap this up, Yusef Days. I've been listening to him again. He has an album called Welcome to the Hills. He's a underground jazz drummer from London. I tried to say London and jazz at the same time, but it didn't work out. He has an album, like I just said, Welcome to the Hills. A very good album. You should listen to it. It's like a trio. It's Yusef Days, Charlie Stacey, and Rocco Palladino. Rocco Palladino. Very, 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 very good album. Very fun. And I also have been listening to a little bit of Art by Numbers. and this is like, I they're kind of similar to like maybe artificial language, a very interesting progressive metal band for the most part, I think. But yeah, no, I think that's gonna wrap it up on music recommendations, and I think that's going to wrap it up on this episode. Thank you guys for listening each week, and it's time for you to leave. Get out of here. Get going. I got it. I got places to go, people to see, things to do. You know, you gotta leave. And you gotta come back next week, because I'll have a new episode up hopefully by Saturday. This week was Sunday. I had to get it up on Sunday, but you know how it is. You know how it is. Things be moving, things be memeing, things be happening. So just yeah, stay good, and I'll see you next week. Adios, au revoir, sayonara, avida sen, ciao.